The Philippine Army's efforts to acquire multiple launch rocket systems or MLRS from multiple sources is a top priority for the Philippine Army, like other projects under the revised AFP Modernization program, as this acquisition is being done primarily for the Philippine Army looking to play a role in increasing development. The military is going through the Re-Horizon 3 phase, a process that typically prioritizes upgrading the weapons and enhancing the capabilities of the Philippine Air Force and the Philippine Navy. This means that the armed forces of the Philippines' priority projects typically include multi-role fighter jets and heavily armed surface warships, in line with the concept of projecting the country's military power in areas of need. The Multiple Launch Rocket System Acquisition Project is counted as one of the projects pushed by the Philippine Army for its push for modernization, apart from the planned purchase of units under the Land-Based Missile System or LBMS purchase project, with the preference being the BrahMos anti-ship missile. With the project actively in competition between willing candidates such as the M142 HIMARS and the K239 Chunmoo units, Israel's Elbit Systems also came up with its own weapon solution that addresses the Philippine Army's rocket requirements, which is the PULS Multiple Launch Rocket System, MLRS. Despite being at the back of the pack in terms of priorities in this phase, especially now when the external defense posture is so needed and the Philippines being an archipelagic nation, this has not stopped the Philippine Army from establishing its own set of plans and programs in this revised phase of the revised AFP Modernization Program, or RA 10349. Currently, discussions regarding the Multiple Launch System or MLRS for the Philippine Army typically include three types of platforms to consider: the M142 HIMARS MLRS from the United States, the K239 Chunmoo MLRS from South Korea, and the Elbit PULS MLRS from Israel. The first mentioned MLRS platform has demonstrated its capabilities several times before armed forces of the Philippines participants during the annual Balakatan exercise held by the alliance. With the capabilities of the M142 HIMARS MLRS capturing the minds of participants during the annual bilateral exercises between the Philippines and the United States, the Philippines is keen to secure such a platform and integrate it into its currently emerging suite of interconnection systems. That would determine the bottom line of its external defense. While these platforms are capable, their high prices may limit the country's options for providing these platforms as needed, given limited funding. This is where South Korea's K239 Chunmoo MLRS and Elbit PULS MLRS try to fill the void. Elbit Systems, a leading Israeli defense company, recently offered its latest multiple launch rocket system, MLRS, known as PULS, Precision Guided Rocket and Missile Launching System, to the Philippine Army. This offer marks an important step in defense cooperation between Israel and the Philippines, and shows Elbit Systems' confidence in the Philippine Army's ability to face regional security challenges. PULS MLRS is a highly precise rocket and missile launch system, designed to provide a tactical advantage on the modern battlefield. The system is equipped with advanced guidance technology, enabling accurate and effective launches against designated targets. With its wide range and rapid fire capability, the PULS MLRS can be a vital asset in maintaining the security and sovereignty of the Philippines. The Philippine Army's decision to consider the Elbit PULS MLRS bid shows its seriousness in enhancing the country's defense capabilities. In the face of increasingly complex threats, investment in modern and up-to-date weapons systems is very important. With the adoption of the latest technology such as PULS MLRS, the Philippine Army can increase the deterrence power and strengthen their position in maintaining regional security. This makes Elbit PULS MLRS a key topic for discussion, and by understanding it more deeply, there will be an analytical conversation about the system, from the history of its development to its operation with different militaries, plus its specifications and comparison with the other systems mentioned. Please note, the Elbit Systems PULS MLRS platform has an origin story, concept and development process that has been carried out by many military equipment and hardware that has penetrated to the stage when it emerged as an idea, until it became a prototype for testing. Therefore, the prototype successfully passes development requirements, allowing it to enter active service, usually in the home country where the platform was developed. Before the Multiple Launch Rocket System unit became the Elbit Systems PULS MLRS that is now known among the defense community, the system, during the development and testing phase, became known by a different name, namely PULS MLRS. Platform developed by a different entity called Israel Military Industries or IMI. This entity and its own projects, such as PULS MLRS, have been integrated into Elbit Systems through the company's acquisition of IMI in 2018. The Philippine Army pursues the acquisition of Multiple Launch Rocket Systems or MLRS, as the entire armed forces of the Philippines, together with the Department of National Defense, gears itself into fortifying and solidifying the country's territorial defense capabilities. This comes as the entire defense establishment's adaptation of the new posture entitled Comprehensive Archipelagic Defense Concept, or CADC, with coastal defense being one of the essential components of this strategic shift. This new defense concept developed by the country's National Defense Department shows the grave significance of taking the country's overall external defense situation into account, that the full modernization of the armed forces of the Philippines takes center stage, alongside capabilities-related developments of both the Philippine Coast Guard and the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, as all mentioned government instrumentalities play a vital role in asserting its national interest in the country's EEZ. As the acquisition projects of the revised AFP modernization program being in its materialization phase under the Re-Horizon 3 period of the entire program, the Philippine Army is keen on securing its own set of military hardware geared for external defense, giving primary emphasis on both coastal-oriented defense systems of both rocket artillery and guided anti-ship missile platforms. As for the former, a close fight ensues between three MLRS platforms that the service branch sees into consideration.